Hey, David Brewster here with another 3-for-all, and this is 3 Yngwie-Approved pedal point licks. Now, pedal point is a compositional technique that was developed in the Baroque period. Bach and Handel and composers like that used it in their compositions. And of course, over the centuries and through the years, it's filtered into rock and metal and a lot of different styles of music. You can hear it in jazz, and even country licks sometimes will incorporate, pedal point ideas. Pedal point itself actually revolves around a repeated note or a reoccurring note in a melodic phrase, whether it's part of an arpeggio, part of a scale. And you can hear this in lots of different styles of music, like I mentioned earlier. So the best way I think to explain it or kind of show you what we're talking about is just go ahead and dive in and start working with it. So we're going to be in the key of C minor in this lesson. And there's really no reason why I just kind of pick C. And I like C minor. I think there's a lot of interesting, a lot of interesting chords you can grab in C minor. Let's just grab 3 notes from C minor. We're just going to grab C, D, and E flat here on the B string on the 13th, 15th, and 16th fret. Okay, the first 3 notes of C natural minor. It's actually the first 3 notes of several C minor scales. It could be the first 3 notes of harmonic minor, natural minor, Dorian. There's a lot of options here. There's our kind of targeted note selection. And then to make this fully, Yngwie approved, let's just incorporate a B in there, which is going to target, C harmonic minor. It has that very distinct sound. The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to alternate between the C and the B. And then we're also going to use that D and E flat as kind of a little repetitive motif or phrase. Something like this, really slow. And that's basically kind of signaling, a pedal point sound. Once you have the basic fingering and the picking, you can start to make variations. So here I'm just going to basically do the same thing, but I'm also going to include an A flat here on the G string. And that creates a little melodic, pedal point pattern. Now let's answer that with a variation, and let's alternate and grab F on the high E string there instead of the A flat, just to kind of mix it up, and that would sound like this. Which is a really cool little melodic sequence. The next example here, we're going to revert to C natural minor, or C Aeolian. So we're going to move away from harmonic minor. Sorry, Yngwie. We're going to move away from harmonic minor and just go to regular, the natural minor scale. So there's an interesting pattern that I want to show you here, which is part of the reason why we've shifted to a different scale. So think of C natural minor. And like the first 6 notes there on the B and the high E string, there's C, D, E flat, F, G, and A flat. And then in your mind, I want you to think of the next position, the next shape there, D, E flat, and F, G, A flat, and B flat. And then finally E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, and C. So we're really just grabbing, a 2-string scale fingering for C natural minor. So now what we're going to do is create a pedal point movement on each set of 2 strings. So we're going to do it first on the B and the high E like this. And then flip it and grab F there on the high E, and then do the 2-note motion between E and E flat and D on the B string. Like that. And you can just kind of go back and forth like that. And then go to the next position there, and now you're using a different fingering, and you're still in the key of C minor. And then go to the final fingering, which is this. Now also your ear might be hearing, either C minor Or you might also be hearing, the relative major, E flat major. But make sure, make sure you kind of define which key you're actually flirting with there, because there I honestly ended on E flat. So make sure, to end on C if you want to imply that C natural minor sound. So there we unlock this really cool sequence, and we're also kind of getting a workout on two different strings. We're doing a workout there on the high E, for the pinky and third finger. And then it flips, and then we're doing the workout there on the B string. It's a really good workout. So here's a little variation of what we were playing with there, and you can just continue to expand this and create more and more variations of this idea. But now what we're going to do is we're going to spend a little bit of time with the first shape, having the index finger on the B string, and we're going to actually play between that third and pinky finger pattern on the B and the high E. And then when it flips, we're going to do the same thing and spend time with both of those movements. So we're really going to target, that third finger and pinky with this. So that would be something like this. And there you can see I'm really just doing the first pattern, and then I'm bringing those two fingers over to the B string. And then I change the note from C to F. And then I bring those two fingers over to the high E. So your fingers are kind of chasing each other a little bit on the fretboard and on the strings. Like that. And then just go up to the next shape and do the same thing. And there I'm just hitting that C twice, to end it. Something like that. Well, the last example here is a tapped pedal point idea, and you can definitely hear, people like Yngwie doing this, but I've heard Eddie Van Halen and a whole bunch of other guitarists do this. So it's a tapping lick, so we don't really need a pick. I'm just playing a melody. Very Bach and Baroque sounding, right? And that's the melody with the left hand. And then we're going to basically tap with the right in between every note, like this. It's a really cool sound. And then from there, we could actually imply, some chords. So that was, pretty much all C minor right there. Now we could also kind of shift and go to, E flat major, and then maybe imply, D diminished, and then end on C minor. And that would sound something like this. So it starts C minor, and then you'll hear it change to E flat major, and then the D diminished too. If I go through that slowly. Now the really cool thing about that is you can play that the exact same fingering and the same pattern of notes on any string. Now obviously it's going to change keys when you change to another string, but that's a really useful one string kind of lick or solo, because you can adapt it to other keys. You can move it lower, like on the D string, or maybe up to the B string if you wanted to go higher. And it's really cool. I mean, you can play that on bass. I guess you could do that really on any stringed and fretted instrument, and it would sound cool. All right, well, let's gonna wrap up this look at 3 pedal point licks, and you can see there's a lot of different things you can do with this technique. You can pick, you can tap, you can use legato. You could incorporate slides. If you wanted to slide into some of the repeated phrases. So leave some comments and some feedback and let me know if you had any breakthroughs or any luck with this. And please subscribe to Late Night Lessons, and I'll be back with more material and content before you know it. Thank you.